Hello again. The day before yesterday, I spoke about home education and what I perceived as the superiority of this form of education over that provided in state-run schools. To me, the only matter worth considering was the quality of education which could be furnished to a child. That is, after all, the purpose of schools, is it not, to educate children? Those in the comments who did not approve of the idea, however, didn't see it in those terms at all. They regarded school not as somewhere which educated children, but as a means of grooming them to fit in with the mores of modern society. Not one person commenting and disapproving of the idea of home education mentioned the comparative qualities of education which might be associated with the two different methods. I found this quite peculiar, and what was to me a discussion about education ended up instead being framed in terms of the possible political views of parents and the necessity of children to be inculcated with contemporary opinions on aspects of British society in the early 21st century, which was, as far as I could make out for some, the chief purpose of schools. Clearly, liberal and left-wing folks see schools as places for the indoctrination of young minds, rather than merely somewhere that they learn how to read, write, and study history, geography, and mathematics. That it is not merely that some of those commenting here tend to be crackpots, but rather that this perspective is a more general one, may be seen from an article in a local newspaper from the north of England, which was published on the very same day as my piece about home education, and I give a link to it in the description to this video. It's about the latest Ofsted inspection at All Saints Church of England Primary School in Bradford, which was recently conducted. No fewer than 47 languages are apparently spoken at this school. What strikes me is the amount of time that Ofsted spent not looking at whether or not the pupils were actually learning, but about how well they were behaving in a political sense. We learn that the school gives a warm welcome to all pupils and features students from at least 16 different ethnic groups who speak 47 different languages. Pupils exemplify the school's commitment to inclusion. They respect each other's viewpoints and value all religions equally. Pupils recognise the importance of treating everyone fairly regardless of race, gender, ethnicity or religion. One pupil who represented the views of many described the school as a place where kindness is all around you. Now, speaking personally, if I had a child at this school, then I wouldn't give a tuppenny damn about any of this foolishness. It certainly wouldn't matter to me whether the child regarded all religions equally. As long as the pupils were well behaved, then my only concern would be an educational one. That is to say, if he was learning effectively and being prepared for secondary school. Could the children read and write? Were they all learning interesting and important things? The teachers giving them instruction in academic subjects? These would be my only concerns about the school. Ofsted says of the pupils that they typically achieve well, but I'd want to know a good deal more than this. Achieve well at doing what? Undertaking long division and knowing when the Battle of Hastings was? Or understanding that there are 648 different genders? More information needed there. This is, as I say, part of a very modern viewpoint. Diversity and multiculturalism are not being seen, or should not be seen as ends in themselves, unalloyed goods of which all right-thinking people must be assumed to approve. That's not at all the approach I'll be looking for. The question of whether having 47 languages spoken at a school could be harmful from an educational view, which it almost certainly is not addressed in the Ofsted report. The situation is presented as desirable and the children's attitude to this strange arrangement is shown to be the politically correct one, which is applauded, that they appreciate all religions equally and so on. Here's a question that Ofsted didn't address. Would education in the school be more efficient and would the children learn more if all the teachers and pupils spoke the same language in that school? I wonder what viewers think the answer to that question might be.